Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Episode 9 of a 10-part series in Gambate. We're talking today about the power of balance. And it was another subject that kind of gets thrown around a lot. Like, let's talk about you've got to be in balance. You've got to have balance, everything in balance. And you get to the point where you think, well, what the frick is that? What does balance look like? And so often we decide what balance looks like, or we imagine and try to attain balance based on someone else's idea of balance. So that's what I want to talk about today. You know, when I first started in the coaching business, I had already done quite a bit of different sorts of therapy study and things like that for my own trauma journey. However, I thought, well, I want to help other people the way that I've been helped with the tools that I've learned. I just want to pass those tools on. And so I thought I'd get into the coaching business and see what I could do in there. Now, what I'm getting at is when I started in that business, the big thing about it seemed to me to be about the hustle, that everyone's got to hustle, otherwise it's just a hobby. It's a side job if you're not hustling. And, all these things got thrown at you. Things like, well, everyone has the same amount of hours in the day. So how are you choosing to spend yours? You're not successful because you're not hustling. You're not utilizing every moment, The 5 a.m. club, the cold showers, the Hoff method, money manifestation. Increase your prices, but limit your availability so that people get FOMO. Green smoothies. I don't know. There's all these different kind of strategies that people were doing, and they kind of get thrown at you as, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Have you tried this? You should be doing all these different things. And I found that what existed with that was a lot of judgment for not conforming to that. If you dared to kind of stand up and say, actually, no, that's not for me. So, for example, the 5 a.m. club, I get up at 5 a.m. However, that works for me. I actually just get a lot more done really early in the morning. I love that quiet and solitude, and my brain works better in the morning. That whole cold shower thing to, wake your brain up and get everything zapping. Ooh, no, that does not work for me. And that's okay. It's okay. Instead of assigning blame and judging people for not conforming to these different things, let's have a look at the fact that all of these strategies, all of the things I've already mentioned, plus the thousands of others that you've probably come across yourself, they all have the potential to be successful or to help someone be successful. All of them. However, life is not one size fits all. We are all different. We have different makeup, different beliefs, different body composition, different, sleep cycles, different brains, different strengths at different times. We have different things going on in our life. So here's the thing, balance looks different on everyone. So rather than judge and base your success or your balance on what someone else is doing, let's embrace the fact that balance is a concept. And what you see working for other people, just like success, what you see working in other people is a template. And the secret to your success is taking that template and applying it to how it fits for you. What does it look like for you? How do you maximize your potential using some concepts that you've seen working for other people and being okay with, no, that one's not for me. No, that doesn't fit, the way I process or work or whatever. An example of this in a different kind of a different track would be athletes. Let's look at athletes, right? They all train differently, don't they? Because they train with a specific focus to align their training with their body, their mind, and their desired outcome. So they're going to have individual strategies that lead them to success in their chosen goal. You're not going to, someone whose goal is to be able to bench press a huge amount of weight versus someone who wants to beat the world record for long jump. They're going to have different training strategies in order to meet that goal and in order to maximize their mind and their body in order to meet that goal. And I feel that life, business, relationships are the same. We can approach it the same way instead of putting ourselves under this pressure of having to conform with just because it's worked for someone else and it looks like they've got their shit together. Great. I'm glad they do. However, it's their shit and they've got it together for them. So first, find your shit and focus on how you can get it together for you, utilizing different strategies that you've seen around the place and changing them, twisting them, moving them around so that it fits you and helps you move forward. Yeah. So hustle in itself, it's about action, isn't it? And there's lots of different meanings for the word hustle. We won't get into any of the others because I believe that the hustle that I've been talking about that gets thrown around in the entrepreneurial world is about hustling, working hard, taking action, getting it done, never give up, sleep when you're dead kind of mentality. I'd like to drill hustle down to simply meaning action. To hustle is to take action, get it done. So take the action that maximizes your potential in that moment. So it's asking yourself, what do I need to do right now in order to move myself towards whatever goal I'm focusing on at the moment? Now, when you approach it that way, action can mean so many things, can't it? Action could mean taking a creative time out. Instead of just doing, take a breath and actually work on your creativity. What do things look like? What are you working towards? How do you envision it coming about? Get all your steps sorted. Be creative. Allow that to flow. Creativity can struggle to flow and flourish if you're constantly doing instead of being. So it could look like community. If you've listened to the other episodes of the Gambate series, I've discussed about how important to our success, our healing, our core needs, how important community is to have time with people, good people around you who help you to be the best version of yourself. So sometimes the action that's needed is to actually get with some other people. And that can look like however you want it to. It can look like simply having a coffee with a friend. It can look like having a brainstorming session with a group. What does it look like for you? That's the important point that I want you to take away from this. It could be about grounding yourself. Perhaps you've been on the go for so long that it's really become difficult for you to slow down, take a beat, simply just sit, do nothing. Put your feet on the ground and feel the grass. Look at the sky, smell the air. Simply be for a second. That can be just as important. And it is still an action you are taking with which to recenter, reset, so you can get going again. It can be about really focusing on your to-do list. That could be the action you want to take. You've got lots of energy. Your mind is sharp. You think, right, you know what? For the next 2 hours, I'm going to sit here and just smash out some of those things that have been on my to-do list for months. And you sit there and you machine and you just smash it all out. Great. Do that for you. If you want to do that for 2 hours and then do nothing for 6, do that. That's what balance may look like for you. It's not about what someone else thinks balance looks like. Work it out for yourself. Sometimes it can be, hustle can be about exercise. And just as we were talking about the athletes with the training, exercise, actionable exercise, has to work for you. Some people will say, if I'm feeling sluggish or I'm a bit in my head and I'm not feeling positive about myself, I go for a run. Great. I've got to tell you, if I went for a run, I don't know that I'd survive it. To be honest, I'm not a runner, and that's okay too. However, what exercise does really pump me up is going and lifting weights and doing a row machine and feeling my strength within my body. That works for me. Do you see? It's about focusing on yourself and what does it look like for you. So when I talk about the power of balance, balance is extremely powerful and empowering when you work out what it looks like for you. What do you need right now, in this moment, in your current circumstances, in order to move the needle forward? And then do that and see where you go. So I trust you've enjoyed this episode. We've got one more to go. The last episode, I'm going to be talking about gratitude and positivity. So let's unpack that and see what we can do with that without it getting too mushy. Please remember to like and subscribe and let me know what you think. And I look forward to catching up with you guys again. Take care.